Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday night segment of The Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live via the International Public Radio right here on the United Public Radio Network 105.3 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. The Outer Realm is fully sponsored by the amazing folks over at Folgers Coffee. Just saying. Folgers Coffee, who have basically had faith in us since the very beginning. So thank you, Folgers. It would not be the same without you being a part of this wonderful journey. Tonight we welcome, as every night now, Outer Realm, Dr. Snick. I love saying it. Dr. Snick, the sonic surgeon, aka Justin Snicker, who is an award-winning composer for Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which, by the way, is available on Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. You name it, he's on it. And we thank you for your generous contribution to the show. He, of course, is responsible for our amazing intro and outro. So hope you love it as much as we do. Tonight, we welcome back Jason Hewlett to the show. And he's going to be discussing all kinds of stuff. He's going to be talking about paranormal, maybe some cryptids. And I know he's got a book called I Want to Believe. And he's not with his compadre tonight, and we'll let him get into that. But it's going to be a bang-up show because he's always a lot of fun when he's on with us. But in order to participate in tonight's show, you're going to have to head over to either the International Public Radio or UFO Paranormal Radio. So, get on UFO Paranormal Radio if you want to basically communicate with us directly. So please speak or tag Amelia, and we will do our best to get back to you right away or make your comments known to the guest. And with that being said, we are getting ready to start the show. So settle yourselves in. Wow, this is like too much.
I was going to say that in the screen.
It's just like,
screen is like, wow.
Blah, blah, blah. I know.
Hi, Janie. Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. I'm okay.
I'm like, can you adjust that screen? I'm trying to, I don't know sign language well enough to for Morse code. This half screen right now is driving me crazy because we're leaning, even though it's opposite, it looks that's much. It looks like we're leaning.
Better? Is that better?
Because when we're side by side, it looks like we're twinning, right?
I see. Usually we have our producer who takes care of all this, but he's in Los Angeles, for the Writers of the Future Awards. And I know. So good for him having a good time while we're out here working our butts off.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. Hi, Janie. Hi, Mike.
Good food, good company,
good food, good everything, fancy schmancy room, but you know what? We wish him the best, and we hope that he has a lot of fun out there. He's going to be out there for probably the next 10 days, so he deserves it. So that'll be okay.
He really does.
He does. We just like to razz him about it, but he really does. So because we have to do this like ourselves. We're a bit spoiled because a lot of people do this, but he really takes good care of us. I know.
Yeah, he really does. So we're kind of roughing it the next week. So.
We really are roughing it. I'm just kind of like, what is this? Where's all the buttons?
Yeah.
What does this do? What does this do?
Don't do too well or he won't come back. Like we can't have that.
That can't be a thing.
No.
That means we have to do it our freaking self.
No.
I know.
No. Producer's great.
Hey, Jim Brown, why do we have a sad face? I'm just watching little things.
Did I miss something? Oh, okay.
I know. Wow.
Maybe an accident. Oh, sad that we don't have Joe.
That may be. So are we sad that we don't have Joe?
We're not that sad.
I know. So
we're not that sad.
I know. Yeah. I know.
Oh, well.
But it's good. It's good. I'm really glad that Jason's back on tonight. He is always so much fun. He's so informative, and he's just a lot of fun to have on. We have a lot of guests that have commented and they think, oh, I thought it was going to be, I was really nervous coming on. I'm like, what? Nervous? Us?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say that. And I said, you don't need to be nervous, man. We're a boatload of fun. We're so relaxed. It's not even funny.
Well, it's probably because of your history on television that, they're starstruck. So that's probably why,
so.
That's probably why they're like, I'm going to be on the Queen of the Darks show.
Whatever.
She's the queen of the
There's
dark
a lot
realm,
bigger fish out there than me, believe me.
No, she's the queen of the dark realm. Just telling you, man. She is the queen of everything paranormal. Yeah, I think that could be why. And then once they get here, I think they're pretty relaxed. They always tell us at the end that
was
wow,
so
that
much
went
fun.
a lot easier than I thought it would. And we're just like, what do you mean? What did
I'm
you
like,
think?
of course it was. Yeah. It's
not an inquisition.
No, it's this very round table. It's just like hanging
My
out
favorite.
and jamming about what's going on. And, he's been on a couple of times before. So
and he's on radio as well. He has his own show. So he's really good at that.
No, exactly. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And, okay, sorry. So I'm just checking out. Oh, thank you very much.
We love Michelle Desrochers. Hey, I love your hair. Everyone loves her hair. Did you know that's a private? Just saying, it's a private color. So good luck with that. But yeah,
I've had a lot of people actually message me, and I have given them like a close formula based on what my stylist gives. It's not really science. It's just how it's done. That's
the whole thing. The application of it, right? It's just like any recipe. You give a recipe for a dish, somebody else has a different technique. It's different, and she's really good at coloring. So,
well, she is. She's a specialist and teaches, and I have to tip my hat to her because at one time I would not even wash my own hair. I was in the salon 3 to 4 times a week.
I love clients like you because I make good money.
Oh, heck yeah.
Any answers? Hi, Charles. Yeah, I love clients like you. Good Lord. Yes.
Yeah. It's a hard color to have, and people are really into it. What kind of answers are you looking for, Charles?
It's a harder color when you're the one applying it and it's all over you. Just saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Jeannie. Yeah, just, hopefully we're going to be bringing our guest on soon in a couple of minutes. He'll be chiming in a couple of minutes, and hopefully he'll give you some answers. There he is. So why don't we...
Let me start on that intro.
Why don't you start on that intro and let's get the show on the road. So, yeah.
Sure, I'll do that.
Just do it.
I just noticed my mic is really off. Sorry. Oh. So for those of you who missed it the last time, please head over to archives so you can catch up. Not right now, of course, but after this show, because this is a whole other show. So Jason Hewlett is an author, journalist, broadcaster, and podcaster with a degree in filmmaking and film studies. He is, with more than a decade's experience, an investigator. I can't read my own writing. A researcher, joined Vancouver Paranormal Society in 2017 as lead investigator and society director. And in 2020, Jason Hewlett and Peter Renn launched the Canadian Paranormal Foundation. Please welcome Jason Hewlett to the show. We're back to the show.
Hi, Jason. There he is. Hello.
How are you? Yeah.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really, really good. It's great to be back. It's been a while.
It has. But hey, this is like your third time, I think. So this is excellent.
I think so. I'm honored to be back again. Thank you for inviting me back. Keeping inviting me back.
It's our pleasure. You're just like a boatload of fun. And of course, Peter can't join you tonight, so we'll have to bring him back with you again sometime.
Absolutely. He sends his apologies to you and the audience. And anytime you guys want to even just have him on, he's more than happy to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know you have a book together, so I wasn't sure if that's just like a taboo thing you got to talk about together. Or if it's
usually better for both you, right?
I know.
It's on it.
Do we tread there or do we just wait? So because I know like one of the stories that you covered was like our mutual dear friend Linda Greeno.
Yes,
was like my paranormal survivor compadre. So
Linda's awesome.
She is
awesome.
She's really wonderful. She's filmed here at the home house a couple times, I think. So she's just a lot of fun.
It was an honor to have her on, and it's kind of funny, like when you mentioned how you knew her and that Peter knew her and worked with her. Like it shows what a small world this really is, especially in the community, right?
It's true. It's not as big and vast as people think. People sort of gravitate. Eventually, our paths all seem to cross. I don't do any of the paracons though. I've turned a lot of those down through the years. It's just never been my thing. Like I don't have a book to sell or anything, so what do I go for? I've done a couple like for friends, but it's like, hey, there's just there's no real point.
I'd love to do. I've never done one, so I'd love to do one at least once or twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to go and do it and like network and things like that. But despite how it might seem, I'm really quite an introvert.
Right.
So that would just be too front and center for me, I think, a bit. But you got to do it once or twice.
It's true. I'm the same. It's just like, oh, you want to come and do this? Not really.
No, don't.
No, just leave me alone in the corner by myself. I'll come and support you, though. I'll come walk around the tables and support my friends and stuff. But I don't have interest in really talking this way.
This is so much nicer, isn't it?
It really
Right?
is. There's the comfort of your own home. It's just like, just watch the show. Answer whatever you want.
Yeah. And
Right.
I found with COVID kind of, things loosening and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know if I want to get out and socialize anymore. I kind of like the last 18 months, 19 months that way.
It's not
That's
just
true.
me. I was starting to feel like really nasty because I don't feel like going out. And it's like,
Yeah.
No, I've
like-
gotten used to doing things at home, and the people I want to see, I see them anyways, like either their place or here, and I don't need to go to a restaurant or a bar. I went to the movies last Friday just because the new Halloween movie was out and I had to go see it, and I didn't want to wait. But it was
Are
just
you one
like,
of those guys like Halloween, like 100? I'm there.
yeah.
the last time again, so.
I know, right?
It doesn't
It
matter. It
does.
doesn't matter how many times he comes back. It's still worth watching.
It
for
is.
sure.
It is. And just to be able
I'm
to sit in the movie theater
shocked.
again.
But I'm shocked at the way they ended that last one.
Well, there's a third, right? They said it's a trilogy, so it's the middle chapter. So I think we're going to get into
I didn't know that.
the supernatural side of him. I think is going to start to come out that they keep alluding to, and the way that movie ended, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it yet who are listening, but you're just like, okay, there's more going on here, because at one point that should have been it, and it wasn't. So, dun dun dun. Spoiler alert.
See, I'm like, you can't beat the horse any more than you have.
Yeah.
It's like, how many freaking times you want to keep freaking beating on it? It's just like,
when you have her as a star, I don't know, man. Like I really loved the last one.
Me too.
I loved it, right? Like,
yeah.
I thought it was so different from all the others. So
I'm
I was
just
really
razzing
impressed
you
with
guys.
it. I would see,
Seriously.
she will watch it once it comes up
I've seen
straight.
most of them, but after a while, I'm like,
I have seen all of them. I didn't
Every
even
single one,
realize how many times I don't want to know.
it's just like going to see your favorite band like 300 times, It's
That
like,
I don't do. That I
same
don't
sets,
do.
same songs.
But it's still cool, right? Like so it's been so I guess it's been weird to get out and mingle, and I kind of like not doing it. This is actually much better. And when you go to do investigations, you're talking to ghosts anyway, so there's nobody really there to in your face a lot of the time.
That's true. That is true. I haven't done a regular investigation in like so long. Like I think we did a few before the pandemic. Well, I mean, for me, they're not investigations. It's just going in and assisting people. I've already done all the legwork before going in, and because I deal with more malevolent things, I don't go in there because I don't really care what it has to say. I just want to go in there and hand it its own ass if that's a possibility. It's been like that for a lot of years, but now it's all done remotely, so it saves a lot of, because it's really long and drawn out, and
it's funny how much is now done remotely.
Yeah.
Too, right? It's interesting that way. We've done some in the last few months because we could finally get out, and we had a lineup of people who wanted us to come and investigate and also to film.
Yeah.
So we've done in the last couple of months, I think 4 or 5. And it's just been nice. We traveled up to a place called Barkerville out here in British Columbia, which is a whole ghost town from the gold rush era, and we had access to the entire site for the weekend.
I want to come hang out with you.
Well, you should. It's great, and it's been a hoot to go to a place like that where you have all the time you want to spend in this place, right? And set up your gear and get the cameras up and things like that. And it was just so good to do that again and to be with the team and all in person. And we've really been enjoying that aspect of it.
Yeah, because that's a whole different situation too. You're in the outdoors, these old historic buildings, and you know, it's hard when you're going to somebody's home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a different situation, and you're going to encourage something that they don't want there, or communicate with something that they don't really want there, whether it's, you know, interdimensional being, whether it's just, you know, an aggressive human spirit, non-human spirit. It's, you know, I miss the days of just going to, you know, places like, you know, like this location of yours, and just having good old-fashioned investigative fun.
Mm-hmm. That's what I really thrive on. Like, we've had some residentials approach us, and a couple of the times they've put it off at the last minute, which always makes you kind of wonder what's going on anyways.
Yes,
But,
like,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Now that we're here and we're ready to go, right? But I mean,
Mhm.
that's another whole step, because you are going into someone's home, even just to do an investigation.
Yeah.
And people are a lot different about that now, obviously, because of the pandemic. And it'd be
Mhm.
interesting when we finally get back in to see how that plays out. And
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a good point there. I think sometimes people, when they're in their desperate need of someone to come in, I think sometimes they reach out to more than one group and just see who answers back first.
I think so too. It
But
wouldn't
then you
surprise
have
me.
your habituals, you know, get every group who will come in to investigate. We've
Oh
done
yeah,
some of those too. Hey,
people,
Michelle.
for lack of a
Hi,
better word, get off
Michelle.
on it, right? Like,
Right.
they do. They enjoy the whole experience, and they kind of want to be. Maybe they've watched it on TV or seen movies about
Mhm.
it. They want to be part of this creepy event. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Mhm.
going on.
Yeah.
And we might have even talked about that last time, where you go in and they're talking about all this activity, and you show up at the house and you're there for like a whole night and nothing happens. You
But
know,
that
whereas
happens a
it
lot
happens a
of
lot more
times.
than it doesn't. But
It's
it's
true.
interesting.
Yeah, but that's not how they show it on TV.
No,
What?
Just saying.
you walk
Just
in and things are
saying.
flying
They
around,
solved it in 43 minutes. What's your
That's what the
problem?
couch investigator's saying. What's going on? That's not how
Why
it
is it
works.
why is it still there?
know.
What sorcery is this? It's
Yeah,
like,
I know.
really?
It's like, yeah, this
Buddy,
is a
it could take
movie scene, what
weeks, it could
this
take a
is.
year, it could take months. Like,
oh yeah, or never solve
or
it. You
never.
know,
Oh
It's
my
true. If the
gosh,
spirit doesn't
right?
like you,
it's
you know,
not good. Listen
it's
to
true. How
you.
many houses have you been to where, you know, you have to, you know, it's like get acquainted. I've worked at locations, you know, that have had like spirit families, and it's like dealing in. You're a stranger. You're going in, and you have the parents, you know, and then they have the children there. It's like they're going to darn well acquaint themselves with me before anything, before they'll allow the children to come forward, you know. And I find that was one of the first huge cases that I did. I investigated that. It's an old mansion, you know, on Lake Huron. I investigated it several times, and I really did have to build a relationship with the spirit family, and they became so warm. Like they would come and they would, you know, like the father would come and visit whenever, like he'd come and see me whenever he wanted something for the children, and I would bring it the next time I went. And people don't realize it's not so cut and dry. So these are people. They're just people without bodies. Everything, the emotions, you know, their personalities, everything remains intact. It doesn't change because they're not in physical form. They're not going to let a bunch of strangers come in, poke and prod at them, their families, their kids especially.
Well, no, it'd be like someone coming into your house as a living person with your family and trying to boss you around and tell you what to do, right? Like, and I've never
Mhm.
found there's never been an effective one-off investigation anywhere. It can take, like, even when we were up at Barkville, we had like the weekend. We got to go back for a week. Like, you're just scratching the surface, right? And the same, we've
Right.
been to theaters and homes, and you can't just expect to go in once and get all the answers and solve it. You've got to go in many, many times.
Hmm.
You know, especially like someone like Peter's been doing this for so long. Like, he's been to the same places like 8, 9 times. Some, you know what I mean? And I've been to
He's
like
saying, "Oh, we're going
locations
there
3, 4
again."
times, and
Yeah,
just don't always get something.
it's true.
You might get something the first time and not the second time, and then you know what I
Mhm.
mean. It's just you're never going to get to the middle of it. This isn't a one-stop shop
Hmm.
profession. You
Well,
know,
tell us about this location. Like, tell us more about it. Tell us how the investigation went. Who are you looking for? Like, who's still there?
well, we were at it's a place called, and we had made an episode of it called the Dollhouse, but it's called Bailey House, and it's
Right.
it's an old heritage home in the interior of British Columbia in Merritt. And it was kind of built by a man for his wife who he was trying to bring over from England, and that didn't work out. So he just had the house, and it's, you know, so there's always some sad stuff attached to it right away. And it seems to be like over the years that we've been going there at first, because there's the main house, and then there's a barn and an outbuilding. And the outbuilding, in the basement of the outbuilding used to be where the most activity was. You'd get nothing inside the main house. right? You get like a apparition of a woman in the basement that you'd be communicating with, etc. So that's all fine. And then there was a several month absence from the site, and then going back, suddenly the activity had shifted to the house itself. And you'd have like those pocket doors.
Yes.
It used to be in the bathroom. You had one of those slam forcefully into the wall and just jam there, like on its own when no one was on the floor.
Yeah.
I've been sworn at upstairs by someone. We picked up the name of a gentleman named Tom, and did some research. And there was a gentleman named Tom who was one of the owners of the property. So it seems like there's many different spirits in there,
right,
that change from time to time. Maybe they're travelers, right? Or maybe it's just all different past owners coming back, or people who have lived on the location. But we've had little toy hammers get thrown off shelves. We picked up with a laser grid, something standing in front of the laser grid in the basement, and had that
That's
move
cool.
with lights on, light off, keep looking. So just that kind of activity. And that's been over the course of several years. There. We haven't been back in about a year, and it's probably because of all the lockdowns, but it's probably time to go back and just see what's happened now after all this time, right?
After you've left them alone.
Yeah. And different people have been in, or maybe less people because of just the COVID situation. So it's time to go back. But that's just one example of a place we've been to several times.
Do you find that there's different activity at different times of the year?
Yeah, because it was very active one winter when we were there, like in a February when it was really cold out. And then we'd go in a summer, like a June month, and not get as much for whatever reason. And it would be light out. Like when we were in June, it was light out because it's lighter out later. So we still had stuff go on. That's when we were in the basement and had the shadow in the laser grid. So, but the one where we had the hammer come off the shelf was, winter, 10 o'clock at night, pitch black, storm raging outside, that kind of.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, they have theories with that. And I don't really know if you can lend much to the theories, but there's a theory that when it's cold and dry, that it's easier for spirits to manifest or maneuver, probably because you can get static in the air. I thought that was interesting when I heard that at one time. I went, that's fascinating. Whereas when in the summertime it's hot and humid, less static in the air, maybe it's more difficult. I know even with cases, where things amp up in the summer, and I'd say, are you by chance running the air conditioner because it dries out everything? But then so does the furnace dry out everything. And we've done experiments. I said, well, can you just turn the air off for a while? It'll be sticky for a couple of days, but I just need to know. And activity actually died down when they turned off the air. So
Really?
I thought it was interesting. And I tried that with a couple of different people, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something to it, but I'm not a scientist. So I'm not one of those parascientists or parapsychologists, but I thought it was an interesting theory.
Well, there could, because it is one thing that people seem to agree on is that there's something to do with the electromagnetic energy.
Right.
So that would make sense. And they need to draw power from somewhere. And when it's hotter, it's drier, you get static electricity. That might be a possible explanation.
Well, see, here it's very humid. It's opposite in Southern Ontario.
See, and we're out here in the interior, it gets hot, like it just in the summer.
Dry.
Hot and dry, and
You're
even
lucky.
the winters are cold and dry, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not here.
No, a total other way. It's like
so bloody
freaking
humid here in the
like,
south. It's not funny. You can almost, I would say Buffalo and us are too far off in our weather patterns. So, it's crazy.
Okay, let me put it up.
Thank you. So I can actually see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Shannon. And thank you, Charles, for the lovely compliment.
Yes. Thank you. Hi, Gainer. When an apparition is near you, do you feel like a static feeling? I had it a few months back. I could feel that. And then it felt like a piece of silk or something really soft brushed over the top of my hand. It was gone as quick as it came. Hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting.
Feeling. I've never had that personally, like a static charge kind of feeling. But more for me, it'd be just the cold or just this and say, you can just know something's there, like in watching you. I've had that more often than anything else. Just that feeling of something, and then a little bit of temperature shift.
Yeah, but the standard cold spot, or what people don't realize is you can also get a hot spot.
Yes,
Yeah, and sometimes
Everybody affiliates with the cold spot, but
they
they
do.
don't think about the heat. I know. Sometimes you feel like spider webs and there's nothing there.
mhm.
I had
Like a
asked for my
sensation.
mom. Sorry,
Better.
Jason.
No,
I
that's
had
fine.
I had asked for my mom, who passed last June, to come and hold my hand
there you
earlier in the
go.
day. Well,
Oh.
then you just looking for validation. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Sometimes our brains do that to ourselves, right? Like, but
Mm.
sometimes it is something is actually there too. It's tough to
I think if you
discern.
really believe in it, then yeah. Especially with loved ones who've passed away. I if that's how you feel and that's deep down inside you feel that, you don't need validation from us, really.
No.
But good for
Not
you.
at
Like,
all.
yeah, thanks. I thought it was her. I have seen her in my dreams. Oh, that's beautiful.
Mm.
I know how you feel. I lost my dad last November. So yeah, it's tough. And when you do reach out, it's nice when you do get something so kind and so gentle.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
No,
and that's something, because when you're investigating, quite especially nowadays, people seem to think you need to have something to quantify the evidence, which we all want. We would love to be able to go up to like mainstream science, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, go, here you go. We got our proof, right? But a lot of the time it's you. It's what you are the best gauge if there is something there or not, as long as you're kind of willing to remain you open yet that little bit of skeptical, you know what I mean, and look for why suddenly you might have felt a certain way. But you're the best gauge of there's something even being around a lot of the times, right? You just keep picking up on it.
Absolutely. If I could just say one thing, Gaynor, you see her a lot in your dreams. I would write that down as soon as you wake up. Don't even lift yourself up too quickly. Just slowly get up so you don't lose that part. And write it down and eventually keep a separate book for it. I did this with my sister-in-law, and at the end of the first year, it literally was a detailed message to her from my brother.
There you go.
Yeah.
People don't think to do that. I think it's a lovely way to deal with grieving, which brings me to this question, which I like to poke and prod other researchers with, because it's pretty controversial. You know, you have locations that really, or researchers that go to locations and they all want to communicate with spirits. Do you try to cross them over, or do you just leave them?
I've never tried to cross anything over, and I don't think neither is Peter. Right. I think I wouldn't be comfortable trying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not
turn out really bad. No, let's just say you could. Like, do you think if it's possible, do you think to do it or not to do it? Some people believe spirits have the right to remain. But then my argument is sometimes they don't even realize they're dead, or sometimes they just don't know how to cross. They're afraid. You know, let's face it, back in the day, they were God-fearing people. You coveted thy neighbor's wife, you're going to hell. You're going to take your chances and stay right where you are. Just one example of, the whole like sin book. But, they did instill the fear of God into you back then. So it's like some people just really need to know, no, it's okay. You can go. It's over, right?
That's a common question that we do ask at some point during our sessions is, do you know that you've died? Like, what year we try to figure out, like, what year do you think it is? Do you know you've died? Like, can you tell that things look different now than when you passed away? And I mean, maybe with the right sort of research into the situation and knowing as much as I could about the location, who the potential spirit could be, it might be something to help at that point if it seemed like the best course of action. But we've sort of, at least the way that we go about it, we're not there like to cleanse a home or rid an evil. We're not those people, those kind of investigators, right? We're there to learn as much as we can, and if possible, bring evidence one way or the other to the homeowner or the property owner or the site manager. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then let them kind of decide what they want. They're the ones that are living with. If there's something there, right? And I mean, there are people I know who have no trouble if their house is haunted. They just want to make sure and not see that they're crazy.
What are they dealing with?
What they're dealing with, and that, like Jason said, they're not insane. That you're not hearing things and seeing things, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is just the house noise, or electrical disturbances, or carbon monoxide leak. You try to rule out every possible situation, and then it's like that Occam's razor. If what's left is, well, you maybe have a ghost, then we kind of look at that angle.
If it comes back with a question mark, it just warrants further research. It's just like, okay, there is something that's not considered logical. So, one of the common questions that come in is, because the paranormal is largely a field that it is an unexplained phenomenon. I mean, there's no way, there's nothing ever for sure guaranteed. But they always say, well, what exactly is what would be deemed proper, I guess, evidence? Like, what is evidence in something that is so uncertain?
And that is the struggle, I think.
Yeah.
Every time
it's
we go
real.
The struggle is real.
Struggle is real, damn it. Yeah.
Nothing we've come up with, or I've come up with, would ever hold up in a court of law. Nothing. You couldn't bring it and say, here you go, and that no judge could, deny, could say, oh yeah, you've got hard evidence. And I think that's something we need to think about as investigators. Like, what do we constitute as compelling evidence, right? Especially in an age where you could, and we've done it, capture images of a spirit on film or on video, like, still cameras or video cameras. But in this day and age, no one will believe you. They'll think you doctor.
True, you doctor.
Right?
It's true.
Same with audio. Like, it's becoming almost impossible to walk away from a location, or they've been so desensitized by all the TV shows about it where they don't believe it at all, or they believe anything you put in front of them.
Right.
So I think that's something we need to really look at as investigators. I know a gentleman in the States, Robert Bradley, who's with the team down there, and he's actually interviewed in the new book. But him and his team, and his team is made up of like chemists and scientists and former NASA people. And they go to a place called Bacon's Castle every year, many times, and have been able to repeat the process on certain things. They've been able to sort of look at what could be deemed like a residual haunting, or a haunting, at least in this location, is more of an something in the atmosphere is affecting it.
Right.
And they're leading towards more of like an Einstein-Rosen bridge theory. They don't have all the data, but that's just where the data is leading. And I think
it's like more of a parapsychology side of things.
Yeah, but I think that's what it's going to take to get the Neil deGrasse Tysons of the world to really look at it. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to be able to go to the same place many times with scientific equipment and really just keep trying to repeat the same processes over and over and over again. We all can't do that. We don't always have that kind of
scientific equipment. See, that's the difference. You hear most researchers say, well, we use science and scientific equipment. I'm like, no, those are just like tools of the trade. That's not real scientific equipment, like, right?
That's a good point.
Anyways, even if it's not, like, I don't trust 90% of the equipment out there. Like, I trust my digital recorder, my headphones, you know what I mean? And
common sense, pen, paper.
That's really about it. Like SLS cameras, no. I could just flare, like infrared and all that. Well, it helps, but you still can't say that's a ghost. It's
right. Well, it could be dimensional too.
Yeah.
As our producers say, dimensional bleed through. Yeah, it could.
That's his favorite term.
It's his favorite
term. Melanie. Yeah, he says it for anything. You could say, Joe, my stomach hurts. That's a dimensional bleed through. I'm like,
I know, it's true. But it could be. Maybe the other you in the other dimension isn't, But because there are other series that, let's say, you get a spirit that comes through and there's something off about them. Some people will say, well, it is a mimic. Like, maybe an entity coming in mimicking. But there are, on the flip side, there's a theory that, no, this is just another version of your loved one in another dimension or another time and space, and they will look slightly different. Like
the Star Trek mirror universe, right? Like,
yes.
that's a big theory that's starting to get a lot of play. And when I've interviewed tons of people about this subject matter and talked to them about it, a lot of people are starting to lean towards that. I think because science is starting to look like with string theory and multiple dimensions and how time they're not as linear as people thought it was, right? Like, and I think that's, and to me, like, I like to lean towards that because it's a good way of explaining Bigfoot and UFOs and Mothman. You know what I mean?
It does.
It really does. And John Keel was on to something, I think, back when he wrote Mothman Prophecy. I think he talked a lot about the ultra-terrestrial.
The multiverses, ultraverse.
Multiverses. So I lean towards that myself, like, reluctantly. You know what I mean?
Because it's a hard pill to swallow, but yet it's viable.
it is totally viable, right? And if we're actually having science look at it, which I think eventually science needs to team up with us or us with them and try to find some common ground, because we need to apply all the different practices, like, you know, like the more mediumship and psychic practices to the scientific side of things and the parapsychology side of things to sort of more of just traditional investigative techniques. You know what I mean? I think we all kind of got to work together if we do want to get any kind of hard answer and get people to take it 100% seriously.
No, I agree. I agree with you. So let's get into that theory then with cryptids, because I think while you mentioned it,
I did bring it up. Yeah.
So you brought it up. So yeah, I mean, we'll use Bigfoot because it's the most common. But you look at even Loch Ness. How many times have they freaking dragged that lock and found nothing? Do you think it's like a time slip? Do you think it's a portal? Do you think they're just slipping from one dimension to another? I mean, how many dimensions sit in one space? You know, it wouldn't be hard.
Who knows, right? Like, that's the whole thing. It could be like thousands on top of each little
layers and
area,
layers and
right?
layers. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and like with Bigfoot, there have been cases of following tracks, and halfway through a snow-filled yard, they just stop. Right?
Yeah.
They just stop. And investigators at Skinwalker Ranch physically saw portals open and things crawl out, but all the video cameras had that were trained on them are these orange blobs, right? Like they made up.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
So, I mean, it could be time slips. It just blows your mind trying to like make logical sense out of it. But that would explain why. I mean, how many messy sightings have there been this year?
Already? There've been quite a few.
Quite a few. They've debunked a couple of them, right? But
I mean, think about it. There's not as many tourists.
Yeah, there's not even as many tourists right now, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's changing. Do you think that maybe our technology just isn't advanced enough to pick up these things?
We can't keep up.
maybe we don't, right? Doesn't work on the same frequency. You know what I mean? Like even like. Because if it's like, didn't Carl Sagan kind of had this whole thing on the original Cosmos where he was talking about a 3-dimensional object dropping into a 2-dimensional area, and because the 3-dimensional object was 2-dimensional, you wouldn't always see it the same way. I think maybe it's something like that. It's just it operates in a different plane of existence than us, and it's coming into our world where we're used to seeing things in a certain perspective,
right? And
so because of they don't quite mesh, you're not always seeing what you're seeing. And our technology is designed for our world through our eyes. So maybe that's why it's not picking it up. And you know, and I think if we're getting into this now, if this stuff's probably highly intelligent, you know, these beings or whatever they are. And so they kind of know, you know, it's like, you know, you can be filming all day at a location or all night. And all right, guys, let's pack it in. You start packing up your gear and something happens.
That's true.
Right?
That's almost always the way it happens.
It almost always is the way it happens.
That's
right.
True.
And I think
I wonder.
Smart.
Yeah, it's just something until we started talking right now I never thought of, like, because you see so much paranormal equipment out there, but yet how do we really know if what it's showing is really there unless you're seeing it? Or you have a medium there to validate what's coming up on, like you said, SLS or whatever. It's like every time they turn that on, there's always a stick figure on someone's shoulder. So it's like,
but you're not going to get that with cryptids, like typical researchers.
No. But I mean, the SLS was designed for like the Nintendo, when it's video game technology,
Xbox or something,
patterns out of air. So it's going to take. You're right. It's always a stick figure and it's bouncing around, but it's taking all these different things and trying to make sense out of it. So you can't trust it. You cannot trust something like that unless maybe you also had ultraviolet camera aimed at it, like you say, like a medium, and then other technology, and everybody's picking something up, right? Like, I think that, but even then,
you need a backup for any piece of equipment, in my opinion.
I think everybody needs to be separated as well, because the power of suggestion through one mouth just goes right through, right? Just like you hear on EVPs, you don't hear anything, and then they say it. And then all of a sudden you're hearing that word. It's like, wait a minute.
Right. It said, go there. You're right. Everyone starts saying, it said, go there. And that's a big, big problem with investigating, is you kind of feed off of each other. Right?
No, it is true.
Hi, Marisol. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's hard. That's why I can see why the skeptics have such a field day with all of it, with Bigfoot, with, you know, Loch Ness, with Mothman. What do you think Mothman is?
Yeah, let's go there because that's another popular one. I know.
I think if anything is could be explained as an interdimensional thing, it's Mothman. You know what I mean? It's the only thing that makes sense. And even I was talking with Ken Gearhard about it because he's a cryptozoologist, right?
Yeah, he's been on the show.
He's been on. Ken's great.
Yes,
We got into it a little bit, and he it's something he even said that maybe it's a projection of something in our minds, even, right? Like it's just so hard to nail down.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those weird things, but enough people saw it and still see it that there's something to it, right?
But worldwide too. I remember.
Worldwide,
yeah, it's not just Pleasantville. Yeah,
No.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So
I think it's a metaphysical being, probably. If it does exist, it is from some other dimensional plane. If that's how you can explain it, that's all. It's definitely not a flesh and blood creature.
If it does exist, it's my favorite because it comes always bearing news to help people, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not malevolent in any way. It's
so maybe
always
it's extraterrestrial.
Yeah,
maybe it is
possibility. Yeah.
Well, there's that theory that planet Earth is a zoo and they do use the term zoo for extraterrestrials with respects to like a dumping ground. This is why we have a mix of so much. But I mean, it doesn't explain how things just drop off, disappear.
No.
Unless it's just someplace that, many of them just sort of come and hang out to. Sorry, what?
Oh, wrong one.
Wrong one. Maybe it's one of the Watcher guys. Dave, that would make sense too. Pretty close. Go ahead.
Oh, Marisol asks, has anyone been experiencing vertigo? It's like I can feel some kind of change in our magnetic field. It comes and goes. Mm-hmm. That could be that, or it could be pressure in the air too, depending where you live. Because that happens to me in the fall when I get the migraines. I get vertigo as well. So
changes in barometric.
That's a tough one. Exactly. Yeah, that's a tough one. So.
We get that here too, and it's fall right now, and we're having weird weather. So
yeah, it's
oddly enough.
Yeah, it's just rain.
You're in Florida. Yeah, but it's still everything changes. It's
Well, Florida is well known for bad weather, like rain every day. Storms every afternoon, at least in certain times of year, right?
Mm-hmm. This summer, I did that once for 10 minutes, hard pour, like buckets of water, and then 10 minutes later, dry and humid. It was crazy. It's so bloody hot. You could cut the humidity with a knife. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Depending again, what part you're in. Are you in northern Florida or southern Florida, Marisol? I love your name, by the way. Yeah. I love the Spanish names.
Luminous flying person. Oh, see, that makes it more interesting.
With the flying person?
A luminous flying person.
Southern. Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
I'll leave that to Jason and Michelle because I already know what they're going to say.
Wow. Tell us more about the sighting. Yeah, I'm just curious about, luminous flying person.
I have
a picture. So outstanding.
You were able to capture an image? That is crazy. You need to share.
Yeah.
We just teasing us. Go away.
You need to share, Marisol.
It's easier to kind of give an explanation than I can see it. Like,
right? I know.
Wow.
No, I know. But well, can you describe it to us? Aside from being obviously flying and luminous, he was big as big as a small plane.
Holy.
I don't know.
Like a Cessna? What are we talking about?
Small jet planes or a small plane? Yeah, okay.
Like so two passenger, something like that. That's still very, very large.
It's the size of a plane. It doesn't matter. It's a big freaking thing. It's a big guy. So I can't get past that. It's like the size of a plane.
Small plane. I've never heard a description that way except with Thunderbirds, but
yeah, Cessna.
Yes, a Cessna.
Did he have wings or was he just
arms out like?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. How did it appear to you?
Luminous.
Was it standing? Was it floating? Was it, east to west?
Vertical,
yeah.
Flying this way.
Yeah.
The angels can be very tall too. Yes, Dave. That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they are luminous as well.
I was watering my garden and I felt like someone was watching me. That's just like creepy.
It is,
You know,
and then you turn and see a luminous flying person like that.
smack it with a watering can and hose.
Exactly.
It's like do 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 do
Last
do
suitor goes by. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been looking for the bug spray.
Exactly.
I looked around the lake but didn't see anyone. Okay. Teas. Hello, Teas.
Hello.
Antigua.
Okay, so looked around the lake, but didn't see anyone. So it was above.
Okay.
Interesting though. It's like, is it flying like this? Because you do have some beings that fly like this.
Well, it's more like gliding then, right? Like it's not so much
Yeah,
flying, but it's just sort of that's how they
exactly,
move,
as opposed
right?
to-
I've never seen that before.
So they move like crabs sideways.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I looked around
That's
the
a
lake
new
but
one to me.
didn't see anyone. Did it last very long? Did you feel, what was your energy like? Did you feel threatened? Did you feel calm? That says a lot as well.
Mhm.
I walked towards the
Large
house,
shadow in the ground.
noticed
So
a
I looked
large
up.
shadow on the ground, so I looked up.
Let's put this up for everybody to see. There we
Yeah,
go.
do they cast shadows? That's one thing you don't hear with ET.
No.
Shadows. So that's different.
You don't hear that at all. Casting a shadow is a little concerning, I'm not going to lie.
Well, because then it implies
I
a solid
felt
object,
safe.
right?
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. It doesn't, an energy being wouldn't leave a shadow.
No.
A shadow doesn't leave a shadow of itself. So
No. So you're talking about something
Yeah.
that's luminous, so it
Mhm.
creates light, but it's solid.
yeah.
See,
Wow.
right
Well, I'm glad
there,
that you
that's-
felt safe though.
Yeah. That is a new one. That is
Wow.
a new one.
Wow.
We need Ken.
Oh, okay, so if it's interdimensional, I mean, does Bigfoot cast a shadow?
Oh yeah.
So
Bigfoot doesn't stand sideways and he's not luminous.
No.
no,
he's
but
solid,
it's
right?
oh, luminous craft with four orbs. That's CT then.
Oh no, then you
A
have
silvery luminous craft with four orbs.
That's
beneath
what
it.
casted the shadow then, the craft.
The
The craft
craft
would
probably
cast a
did,
shadow.
yeah.
The
So that would
being
be more of an
but the craft
extraterrestrial
would.
sighting, I
Yes.
think. You know, the
Yeah.
craft and then the being could come out of the craft and float.
Yeah. And if our
You hear that with like
sorry.
Flatwoods Monster and other things like that. They sometimes don't seem like they're walking, they're more floating, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Hi, Dolly. Yeah, if
Hi,
our
Dolly.
producer Joe was here, he would tell you that. You know,
Yeah.
if you felt safe, you've probably been visited before.
I think exactly
Yeah.
correct on that. So, Jason,
Yes.
have you had any extraterrestrial experiences?
I have never
like
had,
that.
you know what? I
Yes.
am probably the most boring that way. I've never had one extraterrestrial experience. I had something where I thought it was like I was out sky watching and I picked something up, like we could see it, and then
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
And you thought you saw something,
a
and
UFO, but it turned out it was just Andromeda. And it was way Andromeda look coming through the Earth's atmosphere because it was a white ball, but it then have like red, green, blue lights on it and looked like it was moving. But that's what our atmosphere does for certain galaxies like Andromeda. So I was able to explain that away. So I've not had an actual UFO sighting myself.
that you
Neither
know.
have I.
That I'm aware of. Yes.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
No.
Okay, so maybe you haven't had an experience, because you look at
Maybe
like
you don't.
Joe's theory is if you've seen one, chances are you've had an experience.
Yeah, and
That would
Dolly
make
said
sense,
yes.
right? It's like because it's like when they you see it, they see you kind of idea, kind of sort of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, until
Yeah.
it started to happen to my children and now my grandchildren.
That
Yeah,
would be right.
Michelle will explain that one.
No, it's generational. Absolutely. Chances are it happened to your parents, your grandparents, at least one of them on one side of the family. And it could go back literally hundreds, thousands of years. I mean, they can outlast us by millennia, apparently. So I'm not surprised. My grandmother. Yeah, absolutely. I bet you her mother or father and so on and so forth. And while we're on the topic, Dolly says interdimensional beings or who are not fully here cast no shadow.
Maybe
That would make
Marisol should
sense.
get in touch with Joe. If you feel
You should.
comfortable and you want to talk about it further.
How can I
how
share
can
the
I share
picture? I don't know which Facebook group page you're on. If you can get to the Outer Realm, you can send it to us in Messenger there, and we can go in, grab it, and try to put it up. I can try to put it up. I usually have a producer for this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I don't
Unfortunately,
know.
he's in the same time zone as Jason right now, just a little bit
I know.
lower. He's
I
in
know,
LA.
in California right now. I was like, what?
Yeah, he's in Los
Oh, boy.
Angeles
I
for an
know.
awards thing. Yeah.
I know, but you know what? We could save it and we could always post it on the Outer Realm group page.
Mhm.
And that way people can go in and have a look at it after that and comment on it.
If you
For
would
sure.
like that. Yeah.
Crafter Aware of You if you see it. Yep. Crafter Aware of You if you see it. Absolutely. So, okay. Because
Interesting stuff.
Sorry?
I said interesting stuff. Like that's
Yeah, because I got it taken down from Facebook because it was too controversial. Ow.
Oh, probably from the
Oh.
comments. Then if you want us to see it, just send it to us privately in Messenger.
Yeah, we can have a
then.
look at it there. And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we can forward it to Joe.
Over 3,000 views. Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
that would get a lot. Holy.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it, my dear.
No, for sure. No, we can definitely, we'll communicate with you via there, or message us at the outer realm contact at gmail.com, the outer realm contact at gmail.com. And then I will just forward that over to Joe, because Joe's got the largest organization for contactee and abductee, like in the world. It's got over 60,000 people who have been contacted or experienced or abducted, and they really document everything thoroughly. So I would maybe even recommend just emailing it, because then we could just go and email it directly to him, and I think he could help you, and you're very welcome. So hello, Stone Hobbit. I love that name. That's very cool. So
it is.
Yeah, because a lot of paranormal researchers eventually end up in the field of ufology. I don't know about you, Jason, but I've done quite a few cases. I think at least half in all the years I've done that. I've been doing this, and there seems to be a bridge between the two. Like, I don't know if they use the same portals, but people who have had alleged demonic or malevolent entity sightings or experiences have also had extraterrestrial, which makes you wonder, are they one of the same? What's the connection?
Well, because even then, like a lot of the the abduction experiences, it tie into like the sleep paralysis phenomenon is very much similar to demonic oppression, moments of demonic oppression, right? I mean,
the hag syndrome, sitting on the chest, things like that.
or even just like like when they see like a demon in their house, it's usually at night, they're right around bedtime. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe I've even talked about this last time. I have a feeling all of this is connected somehow anyways. You know what I mean? I kind of lean towards it. Like, I think there's a common when we get that explanation, I think it'll help explain a lot of this phenomenon. Which is why, like I say, I lean towards that multidimensional thing. I think that once we get the handle on that, I think that'll really start answering a lot of questions. And I think the only reason it's paranormal is because we haven't figured out what that is yet. I think it's as natural as anything else on this planet. It's just something that a lot of the population believes in, and the other half doesn't want to acknowledge or deal with or think about, because that changes everything.
Be interesting to know what the government knows, because
everything.
That changes everything. Everything is connected. Because that just changes everything. Just saying.
It's true.
Well, I think it will, right? I mean, it's I think it's just one of those things. It's like Colin Wilson always called it faculty X, right? It was our ability to tap into that part of the world. We just stopped using it as much as we became more civilized and established and created light technology and sound, and just started distracting ourselves away with other things. We don't need it. It was like a survival instinct to be able to pick up on these phenomena around us, which is why people who are empathic or psychic, I think they're still tapping into this faculty X, if you want to call it that.
I agree. Positive and negative.
Back on, because God knows I'm blind.
No, I agree.
Positive
also.
and negative exist together. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and you can't have one without the other. I don't think. Like, it's contrary to what people want, right? I think they kind of got to coexist.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. Well, hey, our email is posted right here in the stream. If you want to send it along. So night terror dimensional accessing. It was tall grays. There was no terror for me while in it. More like a conversation inside a tube to allow contact and communication. Interesting.
It's like in terms of a tube, like you kind of when it happened, you were both inside like a doorway kind of tube. Do you know what I mean?
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Okay, yeah, feel free to elaborate. We'll put it up. Yeah, thanks for
like,
sharing
is
that.
it tube or is it tube?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like,
because
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
a
in
great
England,
question.
a tube
That's an
is
investigator
like a
question.
whale.
yeah, because I just want to know what it looks like.
Kind of tube.
Provide a clue, right?
It's
Like,
true. How
Adam,
them
is it
all
the
right.
tunnel, like the tunnel of light that
But,
people
like,
talk about? Like,
It's
Are you
true.
in this tunnel, or is this
Mhm.
tube at your face level? If you could describe that to us, is
Yeah.
what Jason is
like a
asking.
talking tube kind of.
Inside
You know, when you
of
have
a
this
tube to
two
allow
cans with a
contact.
string attached, and you'd sort of
Yeah.
talk that way as a kid.
Only an
Yeah.
investigator could ask a question like that. Thank God you're here.
A tube or
Okay.
conduit. Yeah, Dolly would know because she too is a contactee, experiencer, abductee, you name it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Dolly's been on the show. She's got a really good story to tell for sure. Yeah, tube or conduit. Yeah. So I don't know. I think yes, everything is connected. I think a lot of people, for example, if you see a demonic, are you really seeing a reptilian, draconian? Maybe it's that sort of thing. Is it?
Does the perception here? Let's get really spacey.
This
Cone
one.
of silence from Get Smart.
The cone of silence.
Of course, you would say that.
Wayne, that is brilliant.
Energy tube vertical. So,
Wow.
but you're inside this energy tube vertical. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay, I can't talk right now because I got to keep that part to myself. But I'm thinking out loud. I'll probably understand. So vertical tube, is it like a beam of light or is it energy? Does it look like a solid mass? I know that's 600 questions, but
Yeah.
I'm
Just
really
pick one.
curious.
We'll
Yeah,
work
us
around
know,
it.
what does it
Large,
look like?
Vertical energy tube sounds like Skinwalker Ranch. Oh,
Yeah,
it
well, that's
would.
definitely that's the kind of stuff people experience at Skinwalker Ranch, right?
Do they really?
Well,
I
it would be a
know
portal.
nothing about that place.
Because Skinwalker Ranch had portals all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
So they saw the portals as, okay, I get it. Okay.
Maybe
Interesting.
it's a portal.
Yeah, we can't
Maybe.
wait to find out if that's energy or what it looked like to you.
No, it was energy. Okay,
Interesting.
there we go.
Thank
So
you.
it could be energy, the energy opening up the doorway between two
Mm-hmm.
areas, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Wow.
Again, are some of these things that we're seeing, I know places, locations that have had alleged demonic activity have had gray sightings or reptilian sightings. Or you're in New Zealand. Yeah.
What I was going to sort of say too
Wow.
before that was what if it's partly perceptual too? So if you're a very religious person,
Right.
you're going to, what you see, you're going to see as a demon,
Right.
right? If you're not, and you're sort of more leaning towards the UFO side of things or been an abductee, maybe you're going to see a gray instead. And if you know what I mean, like, is it all
Right.
your perception as well being affected by this? Do these things show themselves to you as in a way that you can best understand it based on your belief system? This is kind of getting a bit out there, but then we might as well just go for it as far as I'm concerned, with the conversation, because that could do it. Like if you believe more, I don't believe in aliens, but I believe, I'm Catholic and there's God and the devil.
If
and
it's a demon, it's an
you're
angel.
going to see demons and angels and that instead, right? Because that's the best way to present itself.
No, I agree with
Mhm.
you. I think a lot of it has to do with mindset and perception and that sort of thing. I think they're very, very similar. I would think though, that if you saw a demonic, you would lean towards reptilian, but yet a lot of these locations that I've worked, like I said, roughly half have had connections, but it's grays that they see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I'm doing recordings like EVPs, I've had some like freaking crazy ass shit come out on some of those EVPs, and I was going to tell it just like that because that's pretty much what it is. Some of this stuff is like terrifying, and yet I have heard grays,
mm-hmm.
and it's not usually anything like that.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So it's really just really different. It's just like you see them, but they don't sound anything like what comes out on some of those recordings.
Yeah, like more of that negative energy.
Oh, I mean, full out growling, and when they talk, it's like a growling talk at you.
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, it's crazy, ridiculous stuff. I mean, I've got hundreds of hours of it over the years, you know. So you're just sort of like, what the heck is that? You know, and yet, you know, I've heard grace, and there's a lot of like
clicking and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's not like a growly, "Rawr," you know, you're a bitch sort of thing. It's like, yeah, it's like, I am. No, it's just, I am. You're not lying. But, you know, it's, they're very different. So yet you're seeing them, but it's not lining up with the voice recordings. Is pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Interesting.
Yeah. Change. Yeah. You should message me really about that. Because I sort of feel a lot like you did, and I think I got that problem resolved. I think so. People's perception do play in how they perceive.
Well, it is. It's everything, because we're perceiving everything from our own life experiences, etc. Right? So
I agree. Angels, yeah, ghost shadow people, grays, other, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I can see, right? You was Catholic, now moving into something else, seeing things in a different way. I think the commonality between all this, though, is there is something there that people are seeing, right? Like that. I think that's the common thing.
I understand how people could, you know, see demonics and ETs as, or these visitors as similar, depending on the species and the race. But I'm one of those people who believes that they're all different. I'm one that believes they all exist, you know, and they're all different. But that's from my experience with my work. But I've never seen an ET. I've never had an experience. I've never seen a UFO. I have not.
Bubbles,
I have not, but I've never seen a UFO. Like, if I've seen one, why won't they let me remember that crap? Like, seriously, man.
But, you know,
but other people get to remember. But Marisol, her parents were pastors. That's not uncommon.
No, but this is the comment I find really interesting right here. The Watchers. So who exactly are the Watchers? The Watchers showed me reptilians, and they frightened me so much I didn't sleep for 3 days. Yeah, I can see that. But that's, so again, we talk about, you know, the Watchers.
And who are they, and what do they look like, and you know, what is up with this?
Can you describe them? Like,
that's the second person today to bring it up, I think.
Yeah, Dave mentioned it earlier too. Mantis.
Dolly says mantis. I call them the ET police.
That was the Men in Black.
There we go.
I call them the ET police. Yeah.
I think they were clicking, and some of the African languages come from. You're not wrong on that either.
That's right. A lot of African languages click. Well, there's a whole belief system. It kind of makes sense to me, right? That we are descendants from other alien species that came to Earth, or that we were influenced by them. So it would make sense that we would pick up some of those vocal patterns, right? Because almost every religion has a similar origin idea. A little bit of differences here and there, but there's always like a main figure and a beings from above, and there's evil below, and you know, there's enough of a tie in there.
No, so, I agree. I agree.
Paul Dano wrote the book Beyond the Paranormal, I believe. Like, and he touches a lot on that. So, and that also led to the multiverse concept too, coming out as well, right? So, I mean, it could be something to it. It's interesting.
Yeah, I can't get past, you know, the visual. You know, at some locations you've got a full-on gray, but you're getting entirely different recordings. They're not connecting. They're not matching. You know.
Yeah, and so why would that be then? Is it this, which maybe even goes more like, because do you sort of lean more towards ETs than demons? You know what I mean? Than demons or something? It's hard. I don't know. Like,
these are early days too, though. You know, I mean, I say early days. I've been doing this film for 19 years. So, you know, for me, when I started piecing it together, because you're taking people's statements, and you know, I'm like, okay, what else have you seen? What are your experiences? And they're describing grace full on, and I'm like, okay, I'm expecting to hear something along the lines of what people report a grace sounds like, or what I've heard. You know, and when I'm not catching that on recording at all, but I'm catching other things, am I dealing with two different kind of species? Am I dealing with a full-on, a demon? Am I dealing with, it's just really, really strange. It's like if you're dealing with psychokinesis, for example, are you going to still get EVPs?
Wow.
9 feet tall.
That's
what?
9 feet
All right,
tall.
What she
put
just
this up there first of all.
said.
I'll get to your comment, Zach. 1 sec.
Yeah.
Wasn't
It was like a child.
Wow.
Skin was like a
Marisol, for
child.
those of you can't see and are listening, is saying very tall. His skin was like a child's, but it glowed. He was tall, about 9 feet tall.
Mhm.
He said he wasn't an angel, but they have been called by many names. He said he was the Watcher. 9 feet tall. Wow.
Big dude.
That's huge. I've
Big
always heard
lad,
of
for sure.
Watchers being average, like average height and maybe even less. That's wow.
That is really
we don't
different.
know everything, so it's so
No.
important to push
Not at
that
all.
information forward. That's what I
Tall
thought,
white.
Dolly, was tall whites as well.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. It's a tall
Especially
white.
luminous and 9 feet. I'm thinking the same thing.
It was huge, yeah.
Yeah, because tall whites are
Tall
really
whites
big.
can be very tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luminous and
Well,
bright.
okay, so Marisol, did he look humanoid, or do you think he could have been a tall white?
Mm-hmm.
They kept
Different
growing
eyes,
throughout their
looking
lives.
eyes.
Yeah. Well, of course, the black are lenses, right? So,
Yeah.
So, or did you just see sheer light with no other real physical features? That's interesting.
Yeah, that is.
It just gets better and better. You need
It
her whole
does.
story. You need her whole story because people who are listening in archive won't know
Very
what's
human
going
looking.
on there.
Big blue
Very
silver
human,
eyes.
silver. Yeah,
There
that
we go.
sounds like a tall white.
I thought about why humans are short. All right. No, but I'm
I
dying for you to tell us. This is awesome. In our original
you got to
forms,
read
this
that out
is
loud.
crazy. Yeah, go ahead, Amelia.
Have you guys ever thought about why humans are shorter than the trees? It seems like we should be taller than the trees in our original forms, the crown of creation. No, I didn't, because I have seen little trees.
Yeah.
Very
We're
light
getting
eyes. Dolly
taller
said,
as
yeah.
I know my son's taller than he's going to be taller than I was, and I'm taller than my parents were. You know what I mean? Like we're getting taller all the time. So
Yeah, I noticed that in our family as well. The generations, like my brothers are like 5'9", 5'10". They're not really tall, but yet, my one brother, his sons like surpass. What are they, 6'3" or something? Like they're so tall.
Crazy. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of doing that in reverse, right? So,
Yes. But even my niece is really tall. But yeah, it's everything's changing. We think we know stuff, and then you talk to people who are experiencers, and who knows how many stories Joe has and what he's heard. That's why I think it's really important, Marisol. You'll be able to, you're 5 feet. Well, I am about 4 inches taller than you, not much. But yeah, you'll feel so much better telling your story to someone who's experienced it. And I think it'll help you heal and help you manage as well.
mm-hmm.
That's
definitely email me, and I'll share a couple of my experiences with you also, and then you can decide if you want to really get into more in-depth stuff, and then maybe speak with Joe seriously. But realistically speaking, if you remember Carl Sagan, who didn't remember Carl Sagan, and a group of scientists all formed the Order of the Dolphin. The Order of the Dolphin, they truly believe that dolphins would help them communicate with extraterrestrials, of course, being grays. There have actually been sightings of ships over the water with grays and dolphins congregating underneath the ship. And think about how dolphins, the speech, clicking, clacking.
Click, word, click, clack. Yeah.
It reminds me of the Star Trek, I think it was the movie, the fourth one, where they brought in, this ship came in, it was going to destroy the planet because they were looking for humpback whales.
Yeah.
And it weren't there, so they had to go back in time to get to, and they kidnapped them
Yeah,
from a freaking aquarium.
Aquarium.
I know, because they had pretty much gone extinct, right, at that point, except for what was in captivity. But they truly believe, like, the Order of the Dolphin was an actual organization done by scientists and Carl Sagan was one of them. So he really flip-flopped from being kind of like against everything, which of course they said, he did that so he can continue funding on his research. But a lot of money apparently was put into this. And I thought, gosh, like that's an interesting connection. They believed that dolphins would help them communicate.
Well, and that it makes sense. It does make sense nowadays when you're hearing about all the UFO sightings on the water, even coming out from under the water, and up. And I think it's great for Carl to have been that open-minded, but also maintain that level of skepticism, because I think you need to still maintain a healthy level of skepticism to do this work, right? Like, I think that's pretty cool.
Well, and it gets cooler. Do you know that there have been reports of dolphins being abducted by UFOs in broad daylight while people are watching them at aquarium parks?
Interesting. I had not heard.
I was just like, they're kidnapping what, two of their own? What is that? like seriously, right in broad daylight. It was a report that there were something like 4 that were taken out of like 9.
Wow.
And then when it was said and done, which the people are looking, they're like, they were missing. Like, it all happened while everybody was awake and there. I don't know.
That's interesting.
I know. I thought that was really fascinating also. So there's just a whole bunch of stuff that we just don't know. No,
and I think it's just the more we start paying attention, the more we see that we don't know about it. And just how widespread it is, right? Like, I didn't know about the dolphins thing. We've heard for years about cattle mutilations and all that kind of stuff, but not about dolphins. So that's interesting to have that kind of coming about. And
some people believe that's government.
I was just going to ask you, Jason, what do you think about the cattle mutilations? I mean, there's so many of them.
Put your head on a platter and answer that question.
Right? Skinwalker Ranch. It's okay. Nobody's listening. Skinwalker Ranch.
There's tons of cattle mutilations and cattle being manipulated and moved about on Skinwalker. I think if there is ETs, that they're the ones responsible for it. I mean, that just makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Precision of the cuts, the way, the lack of blood on locations. Like, it's just
right.
Why would the government do, like, what are they getting out of this?
Fear mongering.
Fear mongering, sure, I guess. But I mean,
well, isn't it going to that whole false flag thing right now? Are they just trying to keep fear? I mean, let's face it, people become very complacent. You can scare them about one thing, media gets on board, scares you. After a while, people get complacent. UFOs for ages, people on average were terrified because, War of the Worlds has been going on since the 50s,
Oh, totally. In the 30s with the radio broadcast, right?
Exactly.
Like, oh my gosh.
And people just sit there like, oh my God, the Martians are coming to get us. Like, they really instilled fear. But in this day and age, we have this amazing little device here.
Yep.
And I think, they talk about disclosure, and I think people on the streets get better stuff because they see, oh, now everything's got a camera now.
Yeah.
So now the fear is gone. Now you have this other movement that people on an average want to communicate. They want to know what's out there. They want to know, are you friendly? Are you malevolent? People are having, not so good experiences. Other people having really bloody amazing experiences. It's kind of hard to think, on the amazing experiences, because they're like creepers that come in at night when you're sleeping. And it's just sort of like, is this something about that bothers me? It's like, no matter what your intention is, it's like, you're in my boudoir, in my safe place. I'm trying to get some C's.
Yeah.
This isn't a really good time. But
3 a.m, could you come back at 7? Right?
It's a great time for them, though. It's a great time for them. The light, there's no light. It doesn't hurt their skin.
It's easy for them to hide. I completely understand that. But people are they're not afraid anymore. So now what are you going to do? What's the next stage? Wow. They're swarming our boats. They're chasing our planes, our pilots. They're like, are they trying to instill a false flag? Like, no, this is a war. We need to be, are they gearing us for one world order? No, this is a new enemy. Now we work together. There's so many conspiracy theories and so many theories. It's hard to keep up. But some people believe it's really viable. It's the next stage. See right there.
No pressure, Jason.
Government responsible false flag. Right on, Dolly. See right there. That's what I was just saying.
She answered it for you. You can walk away. Walk
My
away.
work here is done.
That's it. Walk away. Right? Did you notice me backing up there? The whole Michael Jackson thing.
I'm just like full
saw that. I'm like, I'm out of
shit.
here.
I know. No, it's true.
No matter what you say on that topic, you're gonna get hate mail. You really
absolutely. You can't touch it, right? Like
it's a tough one. That's why I put you on.
It's as bad as talking about vaccinations. You know what I mean? It's just like
YouTube will rip us right out. YouTube will rip us out. Just they'll click on that word,
right?
That V word, and just rip us right off.
It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't like to jump on every conspiracy theory. I think a lot of it, we as a species, we can't be complacent, so we need to have something to argue about,
it's true,
upset about, and get pissed off about. So we pick something like this. Oh, the government this, or no, it's not. Like it's. I think to me, I think it's tied into the UFO phenomenon. That's just my spin on it. Given what I've heard about like Skinwalker Ranch and things like that, to me, it just is a next logical step, part of that. I don't think the government cares enough about us really to go to that lengths to keep us scared. I think we do a good job of scaring ourselves and creating these arguments, right? Like I think that falls more into
a bigger agenda. Unless let's face it, military generates a lot of money, but you need to have something to fight.
Well, I think if there are aliens and they want to come and kick our butt, it doesn't matter what our military is like. They're just going to wipe us off the planet.
I think they would have done it already.
They can travel across vast amounts of space. Yeah. What are we going to do to stop them? Nothing.
Are they traveling or are they here?
I'm sure they're already here. If there are aliens, they're here. Probably they have been here for like what that said on what was it?
I think they would have done it by now, personally. Right? Yeah, I think they would have done it by now, personally. Let's face it. I mean, they've been around longer than we have. The earth has basically regenerated itself and purged itself so many times. Yeah. Like how many times has civilization been wiped out? What, 3?
They're coming back, right? Like I think they've been here influencing us since the beginning. Right? They could have even deposited us on this planet in the first place.
No, I agree with you. U.S. Space Force, Air Force Base. Oh, there you go.
Space Force.
It's a thing. You look at the Dark Fleet and Space Force, and they don't want to destroy their creation. I agree. I agree too. Yeah. The ETs. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's one of those things that, I don't know.
It's good fodder for conversation, right? Like, and I think it's just one of the many unanswered questions to have to do with this whole paranormal subject matter,
Right. Keeps us all on air.
Keeps
us all on air.
Keeps us on air, writing books, doing shows, like, it just keeps us going, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Have you thought about investigating UFOs or doing a book on it? Like, it's such a popular thing right now.
Oh, sure. Like that's something, Peter and I are friends with Charles Lamoureux out here in Western Canada. He's a big UFO sky watcher and ufologist. So we're going to get out with him kind of in the spring, kind of sort of thing. We definitely want to do more in the UFO realm. We're trying to, with Canadian Paranormal, that's why we didn't go with we went with Canadian Paranormal Foundation. We don't want to limit ourselves to one subject matter. Like that's why we went out and did Bigfoot hunts, and things like that. We want to try to touch on everything. Cause I think there seems to be so much splintering within this hobby. Like, there's the Bigfoot guys just do Bigfoot and the UFO guys just do UFOs. And usually the ghost hunters just do ghosts. No one wants to share information and hang out together, but we want to try to cover it all because, like I said, we think it's all somehow connected in some way.
Yeah.
I think the best way to do that is you have to investigate all the different phenomena.
Yeah. Sarah, no one's laughing at the Space Force. None of us are. No, she understood. She misunderstood. She wrote, there are good aliens and not so good. You laugh about Space Force, but if you only knew what was going on, and you will find out soon extraterrestrials are real. I think you need to rewind the show.
I do.
You might want to take that. You might want to take that comment back.
Sarah, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. Right? So no. I research everything. I really do, but I don't take anything at face value. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. People send me stuff all the time. Some of it's extremely outdated. Some of it is just like, no, this isn't a thing. Some of it's already been proven to not be a thing. yet I still get a lot of stuff that gets sent to me. It's you can't go with all of it. You just have
No.
to use common sense with it. And other stuff, it's just like, it's possible, because behind every conspiracy theory, it's believed that there's a little grain of something that triggered it. So
We'll start somewhere. It's like the urban legends, right? They start with something that was factual, and then they get expanded upon. A lot of the conspiracy theories that have come out even in the last 2 years, back in the early 90s, me and my friends were talking about the exact same stuff. Just everybody thought we were nuts because nobody had these phones to access information.
It's
Now a lot of it
true.
seems new to
I
people,
know.
right? Like, but
Yeah.
it's been around for decades.
No, it's true.
It's like broken telephone.
Yeah.
Someone keeps adding, your perception changes the story, and it goes on and it goes on. But if you go back to the beginning, that's what researchers do. They go back in time. So yeah,
No, it is. It's true. We could do a show just on conspiracies. Maybe we will, because there are just so many out there. I know in the gray zone we'll probably, we've been talking about doing it. But there's so much. You just can't run away with it. It just takes away from at least in the paranormal, it would be so easy to veer away from the actual research. It's a very difficult field to be credible in. It's a very difficult field to try to get any kind of real, what is deemed evidence. And that's the big question. What exactly is deemed evidence? So if you start running or getting away from it too easily, it would be so hard to lose everything. And if we all did that, and there are some that do, believe me, there are some people out there who research and you think maybe they shouldn't, but I like to try to lean towards the fact that everybody is contributing something, but it's not always the case, No,
and it's tough, because I know even in some of the paranormal fields, I've been accused of being too skeptical.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I don't just want to believe on blind faith. I need it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I've never seen an alien, and I've never seen a demon, what people classify as a demon.
Right.
So I'm not going to come out and say, yeah, I believe in aliens and demons, just because, but I haven't experienced it yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm a bit skeptical when someone presents that kind of
Mm-hmm.
concept to me. I'll look for a different answer first. But if suddenly
Sure.
in my search for that different answer, I come across a guy with a pitchfork and horns and a tail, I'm like, well, okay.
All right, maybe.
There might be something to this now, right? Like, it's
No,
not
for
so
sure.
skeptical that I'm not willing to believe, but I want to experience it or find the evidence of it before I'm going to give myself completely over to the concept.
So
And
that's the book. I Want to Believe.
Yes, now 2 books now.
2 books now. Okay.
I Want to Believe, One Man's Journey into the Paranormal was the first book, and that was Peter's story.
Right.
That we talked about last time. And the new book that came out last week is, I Want to Believe, an Investigator's Archive. And that's where we got 22 different paranormal investigators, cryptozoologists, and filmmakers, and heard their stories and what got them interested in it and how they approach this field of study. And what, obviously people like scary stories. So what are their scariest encounters or best personal experiences? And we compiled them all into this book.
Right. Which is fantastic. So does it make you a believer after Peter's story? Does he believe?
Oh, well, Peter, I mean, I'd say Peter is skeptical, but I think he believes even more than I do.
Right.
that makes sense, right? But we keep each other well anchored and also open-minded that way.
Right.
I know after hearing stories like in the book, we talked to Kieran O'Keefe, who was over in the UK and has been on Most Haunted, etc. Paul Bradford, Ken Gerhard, tons of Seth Breedlove, from who does Small Town Monsters, and just hearing all their stories. Like there's, again, I have no doubt in my mind. There's the paranormal's real. It's going on around. There's something happening around there, and it's just that. Even a lot of people we interviewed, we came down to what do you think it is, and a lot of them lean towards the multiverse theory now, or that it's just spirit, right? And a couple of the people like Scott Moon, he was like a minister. So he had a religious background. He's very much believed in God and demons, and he brings that to the table. And I think I don't like being one of those people, who poo-poo someone who has a religious background, because we don't know, right? So it's good to bring that perspective into things.
It is.
And see that different way. We shouldn't be so closed-minded to discount something just because you don't believe in that thought process, right? It's good to apply that to what you look at as well, because it may change your perception.
Well, I agree. And I think researchers, people who are in the field, I mean, I can only use myself as an example, but, I came from an experience that stayed with me for a long time, and it was on they asked me to do it on what the heck was the name of the show? I should know it.
My Paranormal Nightmare.
Yeah, that one. So, but it was the first time I ever told a story, my personal story. I've touched on it at interviews and such. But when I think back on it now, right, knowing that I've had abductions and experiences or visitations from, what was it really?
Yeah.
But when you're having it and you're a kid, and as a paranormal researcher, I think we're fixated on the paranormal. But since I branched out more into ufology and more the scientific side of things, and all of these multiverses or interdimensional beings, or interdimensional bleed throughs. There you go, Joe. I'm gonna keep saying it because I like interdimensional bleed through. Right? But now, as you get older, you have that. Your perception changes because you're older, you're wiser, your views are broader.
You've experienced different things, right?
Yeah.
You've had more varied experiences.
Oh yeah, because I still have ET experiences. So
yeah.
So for me now,
different life experiences will help you open your mind to different things that you see, even if it's not a spiritual experience or paranormal. You meet different people, you hear their stories, and it kind of just creates a different mindset, I think, which opens your mind up.
It does, but it also makes you realize that maybe, just maybe, because as an adult, that I still have these experiences, I'm going, wait a minute, maybe this is what it was all along. Mm-hmm. Do we have to do a station ID?
It's the sign of the times. All right. That's why I don't cut anyone off, right? I'm Italian. We cut everybody off. But anyways, tonight you are listening to The Outer Realm with Michelle Desrochers and myself, Amelia Pisano, and welcoming back our amazing guest, Jason Hewlett. So we can't get enough of him. We'll be bringing him back on again. We are live from the beautiful city of New Orleans on 105.3 FM, either on your drive home or in your living room, streaming for you on UFO Paranormal Radio and International Public Radio, as well as UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials. Joe, I Hate You. And tonight, there's too many of them.
And that was a good name.
Right? Like, really, add a few more words to that title. Tonight and every night, we have a new sponsor, Dr. Snick, the sonic surgeon, Justin Snicker, who does all of our music, our intro and our outro, and it's his voice that you're hearing. He is phenomenal. He's award-winning. If you Google him, you will find him on several platforms, including Amazon, and you can contact him and search him on Facebook at Dr. Snick, where you can purchase his music just in time for Halloween. Ooh. Also, our sponsor every Wednesday and Thursday evening. We love these guys at the great people at Folgers Coffee. Thank you so much for your support. No one loves you more than Michelle and I. Thank you. Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
All right. Business is done. Okay. Yeah. So perception. Do you think a lot of now these people who contributed to your last book are like, yeah, now it's leaning to the fact that it was this and this, but I think it's these hardcore experiences that put you in the field. You're either going to go one way or you're going to go the other. It's going to terrify you enough to just back away from it, or it's going to leave you wanting to know more.
Yeah. Everyone that we talked to in the book, too, none of even though they might have had a frightening first encounter or two, and I know I even had mine, and I'm sure we all did when we didn't really get it, but it once you get past that fear, like each one of them wanted to know more, and that's where we are too. Like, I want to know more, right? That's just like, as all of us here in this room, well, we're not in the same room, but like
we kind of are. We kind of are.
Room,
our
right?
virtual table.
We're in the StreamYard room.
Yeah. That's right. It makes you want to know more.
Country.
Yeah,
that's different.
No, I agree with you. I think with technology and people, all these shows out there. I mean, let's face it, television is what it is. Mm-hmm. It wants to instill fear. I can answer something, give you 5 different answers to one question. Always comes out the same in the end. It's a demon, right?
It's always, every time.
Well, there's a reason why they tell you to answer that 5 different ways.
I know. It's just like, well, what about the other 4 answers I gave you?
They don't
They
care.
don't seem to count. No.
No,
So-
it's got to be the one that works with the editor.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
it plays really good on television for the
Exactly.
commercial break, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you just but like I always say whenever we discuss this, it's entertainment first, and you have to realize that, and then you can watch that with a whole different, mindset and perception. Remember, entertainment.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's what was it? Even when I was interviewing Paul Bradford, and he's someone that's done it on both sides. He's been an investigator. And he's also been on Ghost Hunters International, right?
Oh wow, yeah.
And he was his whole thing is like, he liked to do the debunking.
Yeah.
He loved that part, but it never made it into the show because the majority of people who watch ghost television, they don't want the debunking. They just want to see ghosts. So it's a very small audience that actually wants.
But
the
Ghost
truth
Hunters
behind
was
it.
known for their debunking. That's
Not
It was
anymore.
first,
Not
it's
the
more
new one.
popular.
not the new one, right? The old one.
Not
Yeah.
the new one,
No.
Ghost Nation.
Right.
Oh God,
They-
no.
There's a demon in every location. Are you kidding me? I'm just so shocked. I don't even, and I love those guys. I love them. I started watching them from inception and I thought they were just incredible. But lately I've caught a few clips and I was very surprised at how far they have come from their original concept.
And I think
It's
that's
a little
just
disappointing.
competition, right?
It's
There's so many
disappointing
shows out
though.
now.
But
They're the
but
travel
the
The
channels
gimmick
on
is
travel.
the formula is always the same, and it's what they want. They want the scare factor. I get it.
That's all people want is to see the ghosts and get scared while watching an alleged reality show, right? Like, that's
Right.
I
what
know. I'm more concerned about my credibility and my integrity.
Well, and the same myself.
Yeah.
Which is why when Peter and I write these books, that's what we have in mind. Same with like the web show. We want to believe. We want our credibility because one day we're not going to put stuff on YouTube or television. We're going to want to be able to just investigate again. And I think a lot of those people that went the TV route, their investigative careers were over. Their credibility was shot, right?
Because it's true.
Gave into network pressure and the dollar and all that. And I think, your credibility is all you got. I was a journalist. That's all you had was credibility. So you didn't do anything to ruin
Let's face it, you don't have any creative control though until you're several seasons in.
Oh gosh,
you
have it for the
you're
beginning.
At the mercy of the
I was
producer.
going to say,
And
unless
lose
you're
it.
Zach Bagans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant businessman who has creative control.
Yeah.
So,
well, he was smart about it. I've been fortunate enough,
he has.
and I've been filming for almost a full 19 years. And I've been very fortunate that I've worked with some amazing producers who basically have said, okay, you know what? I'm good at what I do. You're good at what you do. How would you want to do it? But in the end, what ends up, like, they allow me to at least word things in a way where people have always said, we like how you explain things because it doesn't seem like it's all Greek. We actually understand what you're saying, what the terminology is. But at the end of the day, they want the fear factor. Everything else goes on the cutting room floor. It's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But I've still worked with some really amazing producers that have just put it out there the way it's supposed to be put out there. So I commend you for that, because at least you have the creative control where you guys can put it exactly where you want it and show it exactly like it's intended to be shown.
Yeah, and thank you. And because that's what we've strived for all along, right? Like, I mean, I might have mentioned this last time, like Peter had been approached by Netflix and a whole bunch of different networks to do a show. And he always held off because he knew what they'd want, because he knows Jason Hawes and all those guys, right? He knows exactly how it's going to go.
Right.
And he just didn't want to fall into that trap. And so when the idea came up to do something for YouTube seemed like the right place, because at least we can control our content.
You can.
To a degree, at least to
I
more of a
love
degree than
that.
you could on television, right?
That is a reality show. What you're doing is honest and pure. And good for you.
That's what we wanted, and that's what we're still striving to do to this day, right? And the books are just that extension in print form. Like,
what is your YouTube channel called so people can
It's the
subscribe while they're
Network.
listening?
It's the Paranormal Network, and
going
if you
to
just
put
go
it
on
in
YouTube
there.
and search out, it's the one with the white PN on the black background. So
we're
that's
just
where
going to put it in chat.
Other programming as well.
It'll go across. We're actually streaming across 8 different platforms simultaneously right now, which is great. So she'll type it in and it'll go into all 8 platforms.
Yeah, she can get it to type in.
Yeah.
Like my mouse moves, like my keyboard moves slower than the stupid thing on here, but I will get this up. So
Well, I know
it
this
goes on all of
just between all the different streams on these 8, there's probably about 50, 60,000 members, maybe more, between them all. So that doesn't count who's listening in, which are in more like the millions. It's no pressure. But you know.
And it's the paranormal
Paranormal Network.
There we
Paranormal
go.
Network. I love that. Nice and
There we go.
The
So
white
what are you
skin.
guys looking to do next?
Well, we're contracted with Beyond the Fray Publishing to do one more book for sure.
Right.
But we have ideas for a couple more. And the next one, we're actually just in the tracking down interviews we're doing on near-death experiences, people who've had near-death experiences,
Oh,
and trying to come up with what could they be? You know what I mean? And well, we know what they are, but you know, like
Yeah,
what
no.
what's the phenomenon behind it. And we're trying. I'm working at lining up some people who are actually like not just people who've had the experiences, but people who have actually gone and researched it and who are like neuroscience doctors. I
I'll
want to get
message
that
you
side of
a
it in there.
woman. I'll message a woman who's on our show. She's like 80 years old. She's like she has studied near-death experiences. She's out your neck of the woods in BC.
Oh, really?
And she's an authority on it.
Super woman.
That would be awesome.
She's incredible.
She's a complete
that.
go-to person on this. She's been doing this for decades.
You might be able to meet with her in person. That would be great.
Yeah, she's out in BC.
You should send Jason the link for that show so that you can hear her speak.
No, she's wonderful.
Before you connect with her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely connect you. She's very, very eloquent in her speaking. She's very, very knowledgeable. Definitely. And like I said, she's out your area.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, because that'd be fantastic. Because we're just on that stage of putting together the interviewees right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully get all that done by Christmas, and I can write like mad. January, February,
oh no, I will definitely connect you. You know, that seems to be a thing right now. I've actually been approached by 2 producers for a show on near-death experiences.
There you go. I think it's on. Well, there's that Surviving Death on Netflix that came out late last year,
and that could be what's
consciousness, right? Like I think that really, which it was a very good show.
I did see it. Yeah,
that could be what's generating. Maybe generating the interest. Yeah, we've had a few people on the show about near-death experiences, but she seems to be the one that's got the decades of research.
She has the research, not just the stories.
And that's what we want, right? We're going to have people that are just going to tell their story, their personal experience. But we're going to be able to bring the research in and try to do even a couple wrap-up chapters. Well, what you put all this data together, what could it be, right?
She's perfect for that, Jason. You'll love her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
She's just in the 2 hours she was on the show, it was like flipping through an encyclopedia. I was just
she's done the show twice.
shocked.
Yeah, we were both like, yeah, I know. No, she's fascinating. Great. She's fascinating. Yeah, I'll message you her information.
Thank you.
She's really, really fascinating. Honestly. So you're going to do a book about that? You're going to do a documentary also?
It might become part of the series as well, like the YouTube series. We'll sort of see what happens with that. Like we have. Now that we're back out, like I said, we visited some great, like Barkerville, which is a great location. We've done one at a local theater here, which has its ghosts, and every theater has a ghost story, right? So we kind
of course, I've investigated some, yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing. We went and saw Mandy, which is a haunted doll up in the interior here. They brought her on Montel Williams, Mandy the haunted doll. She's like Canada's Annabelle.
There's nothing wiggier than a dang haunted doll. Just like a little person.
All creepy.
This one's creepy.
What does she look like? I don't find them creepy. So for me,
I don't like haunted dolls. I've met Annabelle. Okay,
that's right. See,
wiggy little thing that she is.
Yeah, and you have a Raggedy Ann doll in your bathroom.
She's definitely like Raggedy Ann.
I can get this on this.
Everybody loves Raggedy Ann, right? Oh, so she is pretty cute. She is pretty cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd hold her.
So what does she do?
Well, apparently you can't take a picture of her for one, and I just did. So, but people have been around her.
That with all of us.
You know, just shared it with all.
Is it like Final Destination? We're all gonna go.
That's awesome.
Been bad luck. Like people have
had Jason.
Bad experiences after it. You know what I mean?
So it hasn't been a tough week at all.
No.
I know.
People who've been around, they're like paranormal investigators have gone to the museum and they get weird vibes. And so we were there. I'm not going to ruin it, but it was just, we didn't buy into the Mandy story by the time we were done, kind of thing. It was just like, well, if she wasn't performing the day we were there, maybe. I don't know. So,
right.
But just stuff like that. And we want to get back out and do more Bigfoot hunts. We want to bring in the UFO side of things. Now that we can travel more, we want to get out to Eastern Canada because there's some amazing locations. You get down to the States now that open the borders. Like,
Eastern Canada is like really, It's really loaded with stuff.
It's loaded. Like almost every town out east has its ghost story or
When
its
you
legend.
go out there, let me know. I know people out there
Yeah.
I can't
who
wait to
research
watch
and
all
such
of
who could
these.
connect with you. Yeah.
Seriously.
What now?
That's gonna be
Oh, I just subscribed to Jason's network, and I am just like, I know what I'm doing after the show. Just
There we go.
awesome.
Wow. Ooh,
We
that
try to
looks
have a whole
really
variety
good.
of stuff on the channel too. UFO shows, cryptid
You're
shows,
just like
Bigfoot shows, cryptid shows,
huge
legends.
talented person. No, I
Thank
mean,
you.
I'm looking forward to that, and oh my
Bubbles
gosh,
has
can't wait. Something
insomnia,
new.
so she's up all freaking night. So she
Yeah. Believe me,
These
I
might
have.
be longer, you know.
I've
You gotta
streamed
watch this.
everything on every flippin' streaming site at least 3 times since the lockdown, the first lockdown. I'm like, really? Nothing could be worse for me than being locked down because
Being trapped at
you
home.
can't in the winter. Yeah, in the summer, no, I have a pool. I'm good with it. But in the
No
winter,
time for television. Once in a while, I can watch.
yeah,
television.
but when
Just
you're
work,
up
work, work,
and
work,
you're
work.
only sleeping 3 hours a day, you have to find. I need, because of my abilities, I need white noise. I can't just lie there trying to fall asleep,
You
or
hear that,
everything's going to
Jason?
come
You're going to
talk
be
to me.
white noise.
I know, but you know
So
what?
that's it, yeah.
I put it on YouTube. I put it on the rain things. I do all of that. I've even put it full blast surround sound in my room on meditation, and I'm still like, I go, this
Wide
isn't
awake.
working. Yeah, it's
I've
not
struggled with
working.
that for years myself. It's only recently, like I've
Did
started
you?
doing like magnesium because it just relaxes your muscles more than anything.
I'm on all kinds of drugs and nothing's happening.
CBD
You know,
does that for
honestly,
me. Just saying.
whiskey.
Whiskey's
That I
good.
have
At 10
done.
o'clock at night, and then when it's really bad, after like bad insomnia, I will, because it's legal up here. I will smoke pot, and it does just.
Yeah,
It's
so I say
legal here
CBD
too.
Good.
for me. Yeah, it does it. That's about as far as it
It
goes for
doesn't-
me.
Everything down.
It does. I could put 1.5 milligrams of CBD oil, and it's not THC, under my tongue, and I will still be wide awake. I'm on sleeping pills. I can take Ativan. I have high anxiety. I have panic disorder. So all of that's part of it. Just part of my life. So
Yeah.
you get used to it. You know, I
You
get
do,
a
you
lot
get
of stuff
function on
done.
less sleep. You get good at functioning on less sleep, right? I've had the same thing, and
I'm
Okay, there
finished
you
my
go,
Christmas
guys.
shopping. Figure that one out.
Sleep with your
It's not
hand
even-
out the window. I'd like to see that.
That would be about a nice
As ET
10-foot
drags you
drop.
out.
That would be a nice 10-foot drop for me. I'm far from, my bed is in my windows, and if I put my arm out, I'd be off the bed. I'd just be standing. But
Just roll over.
Yeah.
Around.
no, nothing works. I think a lot of it is just part of what I'm learning and growing with my abilities right now, and I'm hoping that it'll pass. You know, I didn't always have it. It's just been the last year.
once
So.
the situation went the way it did, and if you're starting to open your mind up more to things and your feelings, right, it's learning how to turn off the switch at certain times.
Absolutely.
Do you think
Absolutely.
that's happened during this pandemic? Do you think people are more open, or I think everybody's angrier. So
Everybody is way more pissed off.
Yeah.
I think that's what, even up here in Canada, everyone is just in a
Right?
hurry, and they're mad, and they're being rude to each other and losing their minds at each other. I think though it has created a desire to know more. I
yeah.
think a lot more people have become more spiritual. There were more people were at home, so they had more experiences in their homes, like hauntings. You know, people saw more
That's-
UFOs. They're
That would
stopped.
be true. Yeah.
Noticed
there.
more.
So I
Yeah.
think there's that happening as well, and I think people have realized, like, you know, we got rocked as a species, right?
Yeah.
We did, and so they start looking for, is there more to this world than just our day-to-day lives? And I think that can make people pause.
Yes,
No, I
but being
agree.
a Canadian, and the last time I heard "I'm sorry" came out of my mouth. So I'm just like, wow, everybody's so angry, and I'm almost afraid to drive because they're taking that anger out on the road with them. And
Tell me
it's just,
about it.
oh my gosh,
I'm like, get out of the freaking left lane. It's a passing lane.
I'm
terrible on the road.
I used to be that like that a long time ago, but now it's just like, yeah, sure, go in. You paid your taxes this month. Of course, I'll let you in with like 3 inches left before you hit my bumper.
I have to play monk chanting.
Oh.
I really do.
She'll get
really
uptight,
do.
but that's because you're always on the highway. That's why.
Always.
Highway driving's a whole other ball game. It's not like city driving. When you're on the highway, you want to kill people. Yeah, sure. What's your question?
Love and Life,
Nice,
Lisa. I like
nice
that.
name.
Cool. It's very cool.
Right?
Yeah. What is your question?
You're already positive. Yeah, how about aromatherapy? Done that too, Dave. Thank you. You should see all my bottles from doTERRA. Just saying.
No, for sure.
Lavender, peppermint, oregano under my tongue, over it. I mean,
Oregano.
Oregano oil is nasty.
Horrible.
It tastes nothing like that stuff on my pizza. Just saying.
No.
It's like, are you sure you're supposed to put this there? It's like, what's
wrong?
Thank you, Dave. You know what does work? About 6 bags of chamomile tea in a 6-ounce cup. Like, just really, really make it strong, and it assists the drug that's supposed to put me to sleep.
Do you want to know what I read recently might work for both of you, since you both suffer from insomnia? Yeah. If you take a banana, leave the peel on, just really wash it, cut the ends off, and boil it in water. Ew. And then take that water and put it in a cup, and it acts like a tea. It has to be hot. Apparently, there's properties in there that will help to relax your muscles. So it's a muscle relaxer, and it will help you sleep.
You know,
I read that recently on some health site. I was just like,
I'll take your banana and I'll give it back to you, because I don't like bananas. Dave Petrella has a good point, and I'm going to try this tonight, Dave, because Michelle has said this to me.
Yes.
Yeah. There are specific healing frequency tracks too, just above meditation music. I will try that. I even have singing bowls. It's what I started doing was I started walking more on the treadmill just to try and burn some of that adrenaline. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that works, because anxiety levels get higher in the fall. And I think also, like I said earlier, I lost my dad last November. His year anniversary is coming up. I feel like I'll be a little bit in a better place in January. Mm-hmm. There's still so much going on, right?
I know that.
After losing someone.
Yeah. My daughter's going to have a kidney transplant next year. Like, I've just depressed everybody just now. But yeah.
Frequencies, though,
Thanks for joining us.
even people that I work with, working on grounding techniques, mindset, I often will recommend different types of frequency work to help them just with vibrational work.
Now we know
because
why.
Unfortunately,
now we know why he can sleep. 5 edibles.
That'll do it. No, yeah, there we go. But yeah, I think when you have people who feel like they've been, I think if you're living with something malevolent, it's easy
Never seen one.
to get into the situation where you are living like a hostage. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's hard to break away from that. Every time you see something, in the corner of your eye, you think it's something. Mm-hmm. And I think that just starts the cycle over. But even if you had something, I think you probably go into full on psychokinesis after that. Just my thoughts.
Could be.
Yeah. Well, just an experience in dealing with people, like they're constantly things are amping back up.
Yeah.
And try to get somebody to understand that they're projecting energy.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was going to say. Like, because sometimes you have something happen, right? And it scares you. Then you see something that you think is something, but it's not something. But because you thought it was, it's got you. Right. Your anxiety's gone up, and then you just perpetuate. So even suddenly the cat moving in a different part of the house, like, oh my God, like this is just getting out of control. And I think it can be like PTSD too. If you've had, like, say, a real extreme haunting and it's over. Mm-hmm. You can move somewhere else, but something happens that triggers that memory, right? Like a car shadow moving across, causing a shadow, but you automatically take it as being.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
It's over again. In your head, it's happening, but it's actually not.
No, exactly. I agree with you. It is really difficult. People think that, it's a haunting, you'll get over it. That sort of stuff doesn't leave people very easily.
No, it's like any traumatic experience, or even if it wasn't like a bad haunting. I think if it opened your mind to what's going on, you're going to be more perceptive, anyways. So anyways. But if it's traumatic, it's like any trauma. That trauma doesn't just stop when the experience stops. It sticks with you until you can work through it properly.
But even when you do work through it, I had one
that there, right?
if somebody comes up to me in a certain way, I just automatically react to,
like some.
Seriously, do some damage. Like I've done it to John, where I just automatically he goes, "You're so fast. Your reaction is so fast. I said, well, it was a bit of a survival thing. So yeah, it does stay with you.
It does.
You know,
Yeah,
I think
forever.
great ways to work through stuff like that when it's physical is to learn self-defense. Christine wrote, I stopped running from it and acknowledged it being there. Them. Then I saw more until full manifestation, orbs hovering, LOL. That's when I decided to just say my space, knock before coming, and
I
smiles.
agree. I
Good luck.
agree. Mindset.
In, yeah.
Mindset again.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you're of the mind where you're terrified and you want to just curl up and pretend it's not there, I think it attracts things. They like to instill fear and control. But I think if you go the other way and you are more into that, maybe that warrior mode or that standing your ground mode, I think, I've seen people clear themselves. You know, I used to have like a 1.5 year waiting list. I'm just like, I'm not getting to you anytime soon, but I could work with you remotely, for years. And by the time I'm ready to get to them, like, oh, no, we're good now. Thanks.
Yeah. Because they've stood up for themselves, right? It's like dealing with a bully at school. It's the same concept. If you're prey, they will prey on you. But if you stop acting like prey and stand up for yourself, it'll stop.
That's right. That's right. And you need to give people something to do. You know, they have to feel like they're in control. For me, that's the art of cleansing, cleansing your space, putting you in charge of your space, making you work on the intention of clearing your space. It's not necessarily what you're doing. It's the power behind the words. Yep. It's the strength behind the intention that you're using, but they feel like they are in control, probably for the first time in a long time. And sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a little bit of education.
Yeah, education and just giving them that ability to empower themselves and get that inner strength up so they can say it with conviction. You know
that's
what I
right.
mean? Like,
and that they're not crazy, that somebody believes them.
Yeah. And that can be enough.
I think so. Well, we're almost at that time in the show. It's been fun. It's just kind of been a jamming sort of everywhere show.
It was fun.
Yeah, I like
our
this kind
third
of shows.
host.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
I know.
So
Zach is trying to going, hey, wait a minute.
Zach made a hilarious comment earlier. Something else came up about the when I said ET police, and he changed the words to bad boys. What you gonna do?
I'm trying to go in
when
and
they
find
abduct you.
I'm trying to go in and find it because he
got
does
his own song.
He
and
awesome.
we have to give him some love. Show him some love. He's here every night.
He does. Yeah. He's really good. I can't find it. Here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, there we go. All right.
ET police.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they abduct you?
That's awesome.
Boys. That was so good. But he used to be a teacher. Look what he's doing now.
Just kidding,
Zach.
I know. My gosh.
Writing music, Zach, you should copyright that before someone else pulls it off the
Exactly,
internet.
someone will try to steal that.
It doesn't take long. Amount of people listening. Yeah, we love you back.
Love you back so much. We know when you're not here.
So again, this is the time where you promote yourself. Where can people find you? What do you have coming up? Promote the book. Do it all.
Okay, yeah. So the new book is called "I Want to Believe: An Investigator's Archive" from Beyond the Fray Publishing, and it's available on Amazon, any Amazon, Canada, United States, UK. It's out everywhere.
Right.
And then sort of the show that I do, We Want to Believe, is on the Paranormal Network, which Amelia put up in the show notes, etc. And it's sort of I manage this network at the moment, and it's got a bunch of paranormal content on it. Shows ranging from Peter and I do one called Hunting the Haunted, where we dissect well-known hauntings. That Bigfoot show, which is exactly what you think it's about. Mysteries, which is about myths and legends through time, like Loch Ness Monster. The UFO show, which is the latest UFO news, UFO incidents, where we go into the big UFO incidents of the past. Just put out one on the Flatwoods Monster. So it's that kind of a show. It's dedicated. It's people who love the paranormal putting together YouTube content about that.
I'll definitely subscribe
and really enjoy it and have fun with it. So. And as for me, I'm on Instagram, jhewlett72, and you can find me on Facebook, Jason Hewlett. And it's been great to be back on again. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Fair warning.
Absolutely. I'm all down for that.
We are putting your Facebook your YouTube channel up on our group page. I can't talk. I need something to drink, people. Like, I mean something to drink.
Preferably something strong, I'm thinking. So.
Oh my God, I'm thinking cognac right now. I'm not thinking anything light. and yeah, Crevassier, if you'd like to sponsor us, there's still room. Crevassier,
mix it into our
however you
fridges.
say it, that stuff is damn good. But yeah, we have you up on our group Facebook page, just in case you guys didn't catch that or you didn't see it in chat. It is listed there as well. But
Awesome.
if you missed it and you don't have a pen, or you're in New Orleans and you're listening on the radio, you will definitely be able to go to the Outer Realm Facebook page and catch that link so you can subscribe.
Yeah, and that's 105.3 FM. That's live out of New Orleans. So I think thank God I only said like shit once.
Twice. Not twice. And I got to come down to New Orleans. That's one place I've always wanted to come down to. So.
Oh yeah, Joe's show you around.
Too. We'll go together when everything clears up, and we should get some really good investigating in there with the.
He'll take you to where all the vampires hang out, and
awesome.
Oh yeah, it's great. But thank you for joining us, and I will be in touch. We will book you again because we do book a bit in advance, and maybe this time Peter can join up with you. So I guess we can't go too far in advance. It makes it hard for him.
Yeah, it's sort of, but he'd love to come on. He would really love to come on. So that would be
okay.
Great to have him.
Well, we hope he feels better, and thank you for joining us again this evening. It's always a pleasure. You're so much fun.
You guys are as well. It's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
Alrighty. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was a whole boatload of fun. And of course, we have come to the end of another fantastic segment here on the Outer Realm. Chat room was on fire. Wow. Thank you. Please do go to the Outer Realm contact@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Send us your information. You know, we often try now to do a show at least, you know, every few weeks where it's just us talking, and we can maybe share up some of this stuff, and you know, and maybe you want to come on and be a guest and talk about your own experiences. It could happen. You don't always have to be a big name to get on. But we thank you all for tuning in, and we really appreciate you guys all jamming in the chat room. We just make it that much more fun. Big thank you, Jason Hewlett. And big thank you to Joe. Even though he's not here, we know he's with us in spirit. Thank you to Folgers Coffee for sponsoring us. Huge thank you to Dr. Snick, a.k.a. Justin Snicker, for providing us with your voice. So remember, stop by United Public Radio or UFO Paranormal Radio, International Public Radio, and I can't remember the other one. But go on in and subscribe. Head on over to the Outer Realm on Facebook. Give us a follow. And tomorrow night, tune in as we welcome for the very first time Mr. Vince Wilson, a little bit of a skeptical guy. And he'll be discussing the paranormal, Ouija boards, modern science, or seances, not sciences, seances, maybe sciences, but it's sure to be a great, great episode. Until then, have a fantastic evening, and we will see you all tomorrow night.